after the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. The burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders. You've seen it from week 1. Now to week 4. The Washington Commanders have been doing something that we have been waiting for years. And that is be relevant. That is to be respectable franchise. 3, and win games when they count. Like I said, anytime last year we win these games like that. The Arizona Cardinals game, the first game of the season last year, was a very close game. Scored only 1 touchdown. But we won 17-16 in that game, where they didn't have Kyler Murray, they had Josh, whatever his name is. But nonetheless, we got the win. This year, a whole different take. We have a better offensive coordinator. We have better head coaching staff. We have a better GM. We have a better owner. And the vibe of why Washington was to give it time. But when Washington went out and set their sights on the NFL draft and got the franchise quarterback who I said was the best quarterback in the draft, who I said that he gave me a lot of similarities, but I'm going to give you one similarity through this video that some of y'all probably won't even think about, but it gives me that kind of vibe watching him play. I already said that Jayden Daniels was the best passer in the draft because he reads the field. He has very good poise. He also knows how to put the ball. Now, there was one point in the game that he had to read. It was a zone cover. It was a two-man, two deep cover zone, and where Terry got inside the zone, but if he had dropped the ball down to Terry would have caught it for a big gain. But nevertheless, the ball sailed on him, so that gave the Washington Commanders their first turnover out of 16 scoring drives, which that's a record. 16 straight completions without a turnover, and they had a turnover and they punted. So because they didn't punt in the last 2 games. They haven't punted. So, and that was the Giants game and the Bengals game. But nevertheless, Trustway, he hasn't punted number 4 times in 4 games. So that goes to tell you what kind of offense we're dealing with. Now, we did lose Austin Eckler last game due to concussion, but McNichols stepped up where we thought that the running game wasn't, and he stepped up. He ran for a 27-yard touchdown. He also had 2 scores. Brian Robinson had a score. Jayden Daniels had a score. Terry McLaurin had a score. And the Washington Commanders rolled on to beat the Arizona Cardinals, not closely, but handily, dominatingly, 42-14, where Arizona Cardinals struck first in the game. They struck 7, and the Commanders went down on the next couple of drives and just scored. The Commanders scored in every quarter yesterday. That's the first time that we could say that the Commanders scored in every quarter. Every quarter. The Washington Commanders, if you look at the stats, they control the ball for the last 4 games, over 30 minutes of time of possession. They racked up over 449 total yards, 233 in the air, 216 on the ground. That's balance. When you could do that, both sides of the ball, that's balance. You know why? Because that keeps your You controlling the clock, you keeping your teams, you're making first downs, and you keeping your defense off the field to rest. Something I harped in the first two games. Washington wasn't able to get off the field on third down. They needed to run the ball more, and guess what they have doing? Running the ball more. I mean, the offensive line has been doing a great job pass protecting and run protecting. Because you think about it, I don't think Jayden Daniels did not get sacked none yesterday. And plus, he didn't get sacked, I think, none. He only been sacked probably about 4 or 5 times in those 4 games. So that is a significant change and development. Also, from last year, where Sam Howell was sacked, almost 70 times last year? You know, Jayden Daniels is not Sam Howell, not by a long shot. And despite that, some people sit here and still cry for Sam Howell, is beyond me. I like the kid. He's in a good situation. But you cannot compare the talent between Sam Howell and Jayden Daniels. That shit is far beyond the galaxies. You know what I'm saying? It's far beyond the galaxies. There's no comparison. Jayden Daniels is what we wanted RG3 to be years ago. We haven't had a quarterback that could lead this team since the golden days. You know what I'm saying? With the Theismanns, with the Doug Williams, and this team is only going to get better. I don't expect for us to win every game, but damn, we win in games that would have been a disaster for us. What? Tampa Bay. I guarantee you, if we play Tampa Bay again, I guarantee we'll beat Tampa Bay this time around. And that's just how I see the team has grown. We went in Cincinnati, beat them. We went to Arizona, beat them. Now we got hosting the Browns at home this weekend. Then next week could be a flex game on Sunday Night Football between Lamar Jackson and Jayden Daniels. That's going to be a good setting. But make no mistake, Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, and Josh Harris, they've been cooking in the kitchen. Let me give a special thanks before I even run into some of these other attributes of this game. Cliff Kingsbury, he's a restaurant owner. Jayden Daniels is his top chef, and he has all his other little sous chefs underneath him, delivering meal after meal after meal after meal, cooking it up and chefing it up. You know what I'm saying? So Cliff Kingsbury, a lot of people I have heard people didn't like the Kingsbury hire. I heard people didn't like the Dan Quinn hire. But I always knew Dan Quinn was a special coach because I seen what he did in Atlanta. I didn't know him much in Seattle, but I know what he did in Atlanta and got that team to a Super Bowl. And I promise you, Dan Quinn get this team to a Super Bowl. Might not be this year, but in the years, he's going to win. Jayden Daniels is going to be the second quarterback, and mark what I'm saying, he's going to be the second quarterback in Washington franchise history to be ever. Washington franchise is going to be the only quarterbacks to ever had 2 black quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. That's going to be history. Nobody makes history like the Washington Commanders. Nobody. So shout out to Cliff Kingsbury. Now, I do want to show y'all some highlights from the game before I go any deeper. So let's sit back, watch it, and enjoy it.
That's a big change in his game.
He picked up 6. Jeremy McNichols turns the corner for a first down. McNichols powering inside the 5, down the sideline, and that's going to be a Washington touchdown. What a run from Jeremy McNichols.
Here with the receiver.
A 47-yard penalty, first and goal. And Daniels trying to follow his block. Jayden Daniels to the end zone, and he's got a touchdown. Jayden Daniels scanning, throwing, end zone, touchdown! Washington, McLaurin hauls it in. 100 yards rushing today. And into the end zone, Jeremy McNichols. Washington defense. Armstrong gets it. He's responding to the Washington fans who have made the trip out here to Arizona.
All right, and you see the highlights of some of the plays and the sacks. Now, also in this game, Washington had 29 first downs. When in the heck did Washington ever had that many first downs? I mean, you out first down. Like I said, you control the clock by 30 minutes. And you limited any chance. Kyler Murray didn't even have a chance to sit up. We shut down the run. We sacked them 4 times. We only have 5 penalties. That's another area of improvement right there for the Washington Commanders. We used to jump off sides a lot. We used to cause penalties. We only have 5 penalties in that game. And guess what? 1 turnover, interception. Normally, Washington would turn the ball over. No sacks. Again, I told y'all, the Washington Commanders offensive line has not given up a sack. They have not given up sacks like that. Now, I'm not saying Jayden Daniels won't get sacked throughout the season, but that is a good sign. Through 2 games, I believe, we have not given up a sack. That says a whole lot. Give credit to the offensive line, who's been playing tough. I mean, lights out. And total plays, 67 to 58. That's another a good thing to hang your hats on that right there. Now, I'm gonna look at some clear stats real quick. Jayden Daniels had completed 26 out of 30, 87%, 233 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 47 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a 96.3 rating. The Washington Commanders is now leading the division with a 3-1 record with the Philly on bye, and Washington, Dallas, and Giants play this weekend. And I do believe Washington will move to 4-1 because I do believe they will beat the Browns, who is supposed to have Nick Chubb back, but that's not going to really matter too much. Deshaun Watson, I mean, they don't have nothing. Their defense is beat up a little bit over there. So I think, like I said, the toughest game in this stretch of games right now is going to be the Baltimore game. Now, if we beat Baltimore, hey, I hang my hat on it. But that's going to be a tough game. This is going to really be a tough game, the way Baltimore manhandled. But Baltimore is a Jekyll Hyde team. You don't know which damn Baltimore Ravens you're going to get. So we'll see. And also, Brian Mitchell, he tweeted out and he said, when was the last time that Washington scored 38 points in consecutive weeks? And I said this, but they scored what? 38 to 33 against the against the Bengals. Then they turn around and hang 42 points on the Cardinals. We haven't seen that. The last time Washington, I think 2016, when we scored 40-some points, and the last time that we scored over 38 points was in week 11 and week 12 in 1991. And guess what year that was? You guessed it, the Super Bowl year. So, not saying we're going to the Super Bowl, guys, but I'm just sitting it out there. But hell, who knows? Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Now Washington is the most has the most most efficient offense based on EPA per drive throughout the first 4 games of this since 2000 and. Since 2000, and that was the 2007 Patriots, the 2024 Commanders ranked 2nd, and the 2021 Chiefs, and the 2004 Colts, and the 2004 Vikings. That's impressive because so that is something that I feel like the Commanders have turned the corner. They is a prolific offense. They're not just a stagnant offense. They can run the ball, they can pass the ball. And when you're able to do that and balance it and control the clock management, that helps your defense. Your defense can play freely. Even Emmanuel Forrest had a decent game yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And we've been eating him up. And you look at Dorian Armstrong, had lights out, had 2 sacks yesterday. You look, Deron Payne finally got on the sack board, which we've been calling out Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. if they could start playing to the level where we expect them to play for the last few years, this defensive front will get back to the dominance that they have been. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Commanders' offense in the last 2 weeks have put up 805 points, 10 touchdowns, 3 field goals, 80 points. The greatest offensive stretch in Washington's long history. So, I mean, like I said, we might be we on pace right now to probably be the highest scoring team and the most offensive team in the NFL. Depends on how we perform in the next 2 weeks. And we go and put 30-something points up on Cleveland and say we get in the shootout with Baltimore for like, because they hang their head on the run. We don't. They passing game is not too good. They hang their head on the run. If we play the run and shut them down in the running game, I think we could probably get a close game. Even if we win a close game, I'm cool with that. So then if you look at this, Ben Stein put out, he said Jayden Daniels has completed 80% of his completion, 87 completions, 100 and some attempts in the first 4 games. Per NFL Plus, that's the highest by NFL player in 4-game span, over 100 passes attempt at any point since in the career since 1950. So hey, that's crazy right there. Then also there's another tweet out said that the most efficient offense based on EPA drives. So I already said that, so the Commanders are second on that. Then you got Next Gen Stats put out, said Jayden Daniels threw his first incompletion on a pass under 15 air yards since the 112 mark in the fourth quarter of week 2. Wow. Daniels had completed 35 straight passes of 15 air yards or less between 100 incompletions, 100 minutes and 5 seconds of game clock. Also, Next Gen reported that the odds of Jayden Daniels completing every one of his 35 passes attempt under 15 yards based on 1 completion probable of each pass. Wow. And that's 1 out of 4,545, and that's a 0.02%. Wow, that's crazy. So, and like I said, right now in the last 2 games, Washington is first. Well, Jayden Daniels is first in 82.1 completions. Passing yards, 8. He's averaging 8.5 attempts. That's third in the league. He's first in third down efficiencies. That's 53%. Rushing yards, he's third with 100, and this is between 2 games. 169.3. He's third. Offensive points, 30 per game. That's second. Points per drive, 3.56. 56, my bad. That's first. Yards, 382.3. That's fifth. Yards per play, 6.1. Fourth. 3 and out percentage, 20.6%. Second. Turnovers, 1. Offensive total EPA, 67.52. That's first. So in the last 2 games, you look where he's at right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. And guess what? He's the first person to have over 200 yards passing and 200 yards rushing and throughout 4 games. So with that said, also the Commanders, not since the 1973 Rams, the Commanders through 4 games has 23 scoring drives, 19 completed passes, and 4 points. And like I said, that's on pace with the Rams, who had more. They had less on scoring drives, 21, and incomplete passes 14 through 4 games, and that's 1973 Rams. So with that being said, man, like I said, the Washington Commanders is on a trajectory now, And if you look at what they have done, they have been getting better and better and better throughout each game. And if they continue to grow like that each game, they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat. Like I said, I expect them in this stretch of games when they get past Baltimore. I think they play the Giants. They play another Carolina, and then they play Chicago on a Thursday night, I do believe. And if they get past Baltimore, say they lose that game, Baltimore, I did predict them to go 7-2 in that stretch. Now, if they get past Baltimore and finish that stretch at 8-1, guess what? They only need 2 games to be playoff ready. That's going to make it hard for any team in the NFC East to really catch them because they will have a great distance. Now, I do believe we'll sweep down, not sweep downs, but we'll split with them. That'll give us 2 more wins in the division, and we'll sweep the Giants. That's 3 wins, 4 wins total. We have a better division record than our counterparts. I mean, hell, what else you can expect? I think Washington could be on a trajectory now to have 11-win season. To be honest with you, I think 11 wins is really, really sustainable right now. The way they're playing, if they continue to play like this, and if they make some moves around the trade deadline, this team gonna be scary, man. Right now, everybody's talking about Minnesota and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold looked this shaky yesterday. Seattle looking good. You know what I'm saying? Tampa Bay looking good. Saints is there. But guess what? You seeing a team in the Washington Commanders that's growing before your eyes. And they growing each game. It's not like they take a game off. They got better each game. They had a tough game. They bounced back. Then they put on one of their best offensive shows against Cincinnati. Then they followed that up by destroying the Cardinals. Hey, great time to be a Commander fan. Don't be signing no applications to join our team. It's too late now. But until then, it's your boy Livewire Sports Media. Great day. Victory Monday for the Washington Commanders. Jayden Daniels. Shout out to the whole coaching staff. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, GM Adam Peters, owner Josh Harris. And for yours truly, I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.